Over the course of this week, we have been highlighting how in the name of vehicle policy, your cars have been towed away and then scrapped without any kind of notice or intimation. Now, while the policy in itself has many flaws, the implementation has been nothing short of a joke. Vehicles which aren't overaged have also been taken away from scrapping. In fact, vehicles have been seized from outside one's house, their workplace, and even from public places. From the Aam Aadmi to jurists, everyone has been a victim of such gundagardi by the concerned authorities. Today, we are joined in by two such people who have had their cars seized without even getting any notice. We have Shanta Kumar Mahale, who is a Supreme Court lawyer, whose car was taken away from outside his home when he wasn't present. His wife made several requests to the authorities, but they fell on deaf ears. We also have with us Ravi Kant, a resident of Delhi, who faced something even worse. Mr. Ravi Kant's vehicle, just like Mr. Mahale's, was taken away from scrapping despite it having good 5 years of legal registration. What he faced was even more shocking. He approached every possible body but received next to no help before being redirected to Pineview. Now, Pineview Technology is one of the scrapping companies authorized to scrap old vehicles towed away by the transport. They demanded rupees 15,000 as bribe for Mr. Ravi Kant despite him having all the documents.
थोड़ा बहुत थोड़ा डिस्काउंट करवा दिया कम से कम 15,000 से थोड़ा सा तो डिस्काउंट होना चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत थोड़ा डिस्काउंट करवा दिया कम से कम 15,000 से थोड़ा सा तो डिस्काउंट होना चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत थोड़ा डिस्काउंट करवा दिया कम से कम 15,000 से थोड़ा सा तो डिस्काउंट
All right, we'll now go across to Mr. Ravi Kant and Mr. Mahale, who will, in their own words, explain the kind of harassment they have had to face. Let me begin with Mr. Mahale first. Thanks very much, Mr. Mahale and Mr. Ravi Kant, for sparing time and being with us here on Mirror Now. Mr. Mahale, please go ahead and share your experience with our viewers.
It all happened on 27 February 2023. Some people, saying themselves to be the authorized agents of this Pineview agencies, they barged into the Supreme Enclave and they came with 4 cranes and started towing away the vehicles. Unfortunately or fortunately, I was not present on that day at my place of residence, and my wife was there in the house. I was arguing a matter in the Supreme Court. Suddenly, they came and they lifted the vehicle. Though my wife requested them not to tow the vehicle because there are some files which is lying in the car, which my husband would be needing for tomorrow's argument. Despite all requests, they have towed away the vehicle. Now, the guidelines as such, there is no policy of scrapping the till date. But even then, they took my car, which was expired on 8th of January 2023. I was about to have a word with the Honda company. It was a Honda Civic car. I was having a word with Honda's company to exchange my old car with new Honda City car. And in the process, I was not able to get the one vehicle which I selected, that was automatic vehicle. Despite that, they towed away the car. Then I went to the police station, gave a complaint to the police. Then I went to the MCD office, gave a representation. There was absolutely no response from any of the authorities. Thereafter, with no other hopes, I approached the High Court and filed a petition. Now, the NGT order and Supreme Court order says that those vehicles which were plying on the road, expired vehicle which are plying on the road or parked at the public place can only be towed, not vehicle which have been parked in front of the gate of the residence. This is a residential complex society where they have barged into the in the society and forcibly took the vehicle. They behaved like a gundas. They misbehaved with my wife, and they did not even spare to give away all the documents which are available in the car.
Right. So just focusing
Then
on...
in the High Court, what?
Right. Please go ahead, Mr. Mahale.
Yes, tell me, madam.
Right. Please go
Yes.
ahead.
Now, thereafter, when I went to approach the High Court, when I approached the High Court and produced all this document, by the time what has happened is on 19 January 2023, the license of this Prime View was already cancelled, and they have towed away our car on 27th of February. So on the date when they towed our car, they did not have the license to remove our car also. That when I placed it before the High Court called the lawyers of the MCD and said, what is this happening in Delhi? This is a big racket and we know how to deal with these people. So with this, the High Court issued notice and the matter is sub judice now. I doesn't want to go into all those details. And till date, they have not filed any reply to my petition. In fact, once after filing the petition, I approached the authorities, that is MCD, and told them there is an order of the High Court. I just wanted to give a copy of it. Then they said, you can approach the Pine View Technology. I'm having a word with them. If you give some money to them, they will release the vehicle. This is the way of dealing what these agencies are doing. They are totally, we are at the mercy of this MCD and the Pine View Technology.
Right. Let's also now listen into Mr. Ravikant. Mr. Ravikant, please go ahead and share your experience.
Yes.
Ma'am, it has been, kind of a nightmare. It has happened 4 months back on the same date, from our society. Around 18 to 20 vehicles were simply taken away by these 3-4 cranes which came. And they came without any notice, by the way. It was just, some kind of an operation. And they simply said that we have police with us, we have the MCD official with us, and it's a government mandate, it's an NGT directive. And they simply forced, residents to simply, surrender their vehicles. And after that, they kind of, took away. Now, it's a gated society. It's a private society where, the residents remain and all the vehicles were parked inside. These vehicles were not plying on the road. I had a valid RC. It's a valid fitness and RC, which was valid till August 2027. Another 4.5 years I had for the vehicle to run on the roads of India. But they said that no, nothing doing. If it is above 15 years, we simply have all the authority to take it away and you can't do anything. After that, I tell you, I was under the impression that if I approach the authorities, I will be heard. MCD officials, they simply didn't listen. I went up to the MCD commissioner's level. I went to the police. I wrote to the Chief Minister of Delhi. He kind of directed, the Transport Minister. The Transport Minister then further directed to MCD Commissioner. Nothing happened. I was simply told that you have to go and talk to Pine View. Only Pine View can help you, and you have to agree to whatever terms, conditions that Pine View imposes on you. So it was an indirect, indication or a hint that you have to pay the money. And, if they agree, then, you can take the vehicle. I had to pay the money. I had no other choice because all the doors that I knocked, I simply got, absolutely no reply. I had to pay 15,000 rupees. And then I got the vehicle in which, the entire fuel was stolen. The front glass of the car was, taken away with the rubber lining. It was taken away and perhaps they might have sold it. And then they damaged the vehicle, the side glass, the front bonnet, everything was damaged. Now, instead of, me getting compensated, I had to further pay 15,000 rupees. And from that time onwards also, I have been writing, I have been putting, on the PG portal also I have complained. On the 100 number also, on the day of this incident, we called up, 100 number of the police. And the policeman came and he simply said that nothing can be done. I can tell you, deputy commissioner has been approached. All these authorities, it clearly appears that it is completely hand-in-glove operation which is being done. Out of the 8 agencies, which were empaneled by Delhi Transport Department, all the 8 licenses were cancelled on 19th of January. Now, I guess 7 of these 8 agencies, they understood and they followed the guidelines that they are no more authorized. I have spoken to them, but this Pine View says that we will not stop. We have authority from MCD, and we will simply, do this entire operation without any fear. So I think it's a clear case of residents being targeted. I think it's a scam. I think it's a big scam. Delhi having more than 50 lakh vehicles which are overaged, and you can imagine. I think per vehicle they make extra money of 20 to 30,000 rupees, which actually comes to 10,000 crores. So I think more vehicles are getting targeted every day. Even now it is happening. In spite of Delhi Transport Minister, issuing a clear circular that from the resident's place it cannot be taken away. Even if it is an overaged vehicle, the resident has a right to retain it inside his premises. It's not a public place.
Mr. Mahale and Mr. Ravikant, yes, we heard you both, and right. The one thing...
Ravikant was right. There was...
Right.
Yeah, I want to answer that issue. Right. Ravikant was right. There was a judgment of the Supreme Court, ICICI credit card. In that, Supreme Court has said, even if it is a defaulter, vehicle cannot be towed away like this by the agencies. It is nothing but a gundagardi.
Absolutely. So speaking, like, after listening to the both of you, of course, the both of you are saying that this is a scam, this is extortion, this is harassment. We've got a number of callers who are echoing this, who have the same sentiment. But Mr. Mahale, I would request you to help us understand how can we ease the citizens' pain. Can you break down the old vehicle scrappage policy for our viewers? What legal action can citizens really take against this brazen harassment?
Madam, being a lawyer, I have been undergone so much of tension, so much of the whatever. The only option is now we have to approach the High Court in writ petition and get something order from the High Court. There is no other way out for the citizens to get a relief from any other authorities. It's only the court can come out and give some relief to the citizens.
Absolutely. And like Mr. Ravikant was pointing out about the open extortion which is happening.
You have to...
Extortion is happening correct. Out in the open. He has spoken on record that 15,000 rupees he had to pay. He did not get any kind of a receipt. So what can be done about that? What legal course can he take?
That you have to only the channels can do something for this. You have to bring to the public notice what is happening around the NCR.
Absolutely.
And how these people are towing away the vehicle.
Absolutely.
It's only through the media awareness to be brought in the public, so that we can the government will get time to tame this all these authorities.
Absolutely, we have been running our campaign relentlessly. Right, Mr. Ravikant, go ahead.
Yeah. See, if you actually go through how this entire scam has been designed, there is an NGT order and there is a Supreme Court order. I think this order has come with a well intention that the vehicles which are abandoned at a public place are actually blocking the traffic and all that, and very maybe a vehicle which is, let's say, 20, 25 years old, 30 years old, and actually not in a good condition should be scrapped. Okay. Now, it is just a guideline. Nowhere Supreme Court or NGT, Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable NGT is saying that only a particular agency has to pick the vehicle forcibly after 11 a.m. in the morning, when the people of the family or the male members of the family have gone for work, and the kids have gone to school and all that, and the lady is alone at home, and these goons will come and simply terrorize the lady and take away the vehicle. Nowhere these orders says, nowhere this order says from honorable courts that only a particular agency has to do it at a rate of 15 or 16 rupees of the scrap value. The actual scrap value is there at 50 or 60 rupees minimum. Okay, this entire scam has been designed around these loopholes. There is a simple one para or maybe one page directive from the honorable courts. But what the government should have done, the Ministry of Transport at the central level and also the state governments, they actually should have designed. If you tomorrow, come out with a circular that all these vehicles which are being taken for scrappage, the value of the scrap is going to be, let's say, 50 rupees or 60 rupees minimum. I tell you, tomorrow they will stop coming. They are not coming after our vehicles. They are coming after, us because they want to make this extra money of 10,000 crores from Delhi citizens.
Absolutely.
This is where the issue is.
Right. Let me also get in Mr. Mahale on this. Mr. Mahale, would you like to add anything to that?
That's correct. What Ravikant is saying, there should be the policy which has to be decided, brought in by the government to say that this is the value should be fixed for this kind of vehicles. If there is no value fixed, then there will be a leverage to these agencies to take away the vehicle and give something peanut to you. The vehicle which have been towed away might be, if I go and sell it in the market, it may I would be getting 10 times more than what these scrappers are giving to us. So this has to be addressed by the government. Government has to fix, this is the amount you have to pay for this old age vehicles. If you don't fix the value, then the agencies will make huge money out of this, and this scam is only because of that.
Right. Mr. Ravikant, please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, it's a case where the extra money is being made per vehicle, and it cannot happen without connivance, hand in glove kind of a situation between this Pine View, this scrappage mafia which is operating, and the government officials who are allowing them to operate. How can this happen that, in spite of 4 months of my complaint to the police, I have the witnesses who will say that 15,000 rupees has been taken. Now, mine is just one example. Just imagine about more than 50 lakh vehicles of Delhi alone. Delhi NCR, if you count Gurgaon and, Noida and other areas, just imagine the amount of vehicles, which are going to be there, and the kind of, the scam that is going to happen. So it's just because, directive is there, it's a well-intentioned directive maybe, but there is a further clarification, a clear policy of the government if it comes and says that, only, the vehicle can be picked only in these conditions, number one. Number two, if you pick up the vehicle, you will have to pay equal to the market value. If you do that, this entire mafia will disappear.
Right. Mr. Ravikant, we had a lot of callers who are also suggesting that the entire law needs a relook. The policy needs a relook because of the kind of harassment that is happening. What do you have to say about that?
Ma'am, it is absolutely correct. It is just the beginning, let me tell you, because it is going to get extended to other parts of NCR apart from Delhi. And if it is not being done now, I think the first thing is that various complaints that has gone to police and to the courts or maybe to the public representatives, I think they needs to be addressed. If I'm complaining, please investigate and punish the guilty. Okay, so all the complaints that has happened, I think it needs to be addressed. That is point number one. Point number two, come out with a clear-cut policy of do's and don'ts, and please punish people or the scrappers who are not going to follow it. I have spoken to 5-7 scrappers. They said, now we are not allowed. 19 January, there is a clear-cut directive from Delhi government transport ministry, and they said, and they have clearly said that you have to reapply because the central ministry has done, change in the main policy, and accordingly they will have to reapply and do it. How come Pine View or maybe 1 or 2 more are still continuing with this kind of an extortion and this kind of harassment of people? How is it possible? So I think there has to be an action, a strict action.
Absolutely. Talking about action, what kind of action are we expecting from the Delhi government? Mr. Ravikant.
Ma'am, it is clearly, first of all, I think there has to be a criminal, complaint and a criminal case which needs to be filed, and all these promoters of Pineview should be arrested and the matter should be investigated. Not only me, but please talk to all the Delhi residents who have suffered at hands of Pineview. That is point number one. Point number two, clearly mention that this is the minimum value that will be given to people. Number three, also, before you pick up the vehicle, at least give 1 or 2 weeks notice that your vehicle is overaged. You either get it scrapped yourself or you get the registration or fitness extended, or whatever action that you want to do it in, let's say, in a 1 week or 2 weeks time. And if you don't do it, then our government authorized scrapper will come, and at this particular rate, he will take away your vehicles and you will be paid only at this particular rate. Please give that advance intimation. There should be clear-cut policy of that. The next point is, I think I think we also need to understand, a vehicle may have lived for 15 years and still may be fit. I think also at NGT's level and Honorable Supreme Court's level, they need to have a relook that the vehicles which are fit even after 10 years. See, these are not commercial vehicles. These are personal vehicles. And we use it only, let's say, 50 or 100 kilometers in a week. I drive very less. My vehicle may still be fit after 15 years.
Absolutely. Let me take that to Mr. Mahale. Mr. Mahale, what do you have to say about the scrappage of vehicles on the basis of their fitness and not on the basis of the number of years?
That's correct. One has to look into the fitness of the vehicle, and there is also a policy available now. UP has come out, Uttar Pradesh has come out with a policy where even after the 10 years or 15 years of the age has been over, they can get the vehicle, the fitness certificate, and once the fitness certificate is given, then vehicle can be allowed to be applied on the road. The Supreme Court has to relook into this issue and pass an appropriate order, because this is a very every day the people like me who are using the private vehicle for a professional uses. Now I am a Supreme Court lawyer. From Supreme Enclave to Supreme Court, it's hardly 8 kilometers. My plying of vehicles daily would be not more than 15 to 16 kilometers. And my vehicle, which was expired on 8th of January, it was run for only 50,000 kilometers. A vehicle like a Civic Honda, which has run for only 50,000 kilometers,
right.
Can you say that it is going to pollute the air and it has to be totally scrapped?
Right.
This is something, national waste and economical waste, and we are just putting all the good vehicles into the scrappages. This is not done. Supreme Court has to relook into this issue.
Absolutely. This is a very half-hearted implementation of the policy.
Correct. And the Motor Vehicles Act doesn't say that the life of the vehicle would be 15 years. Either it is diesel or the petrol. See, you have collected the license and the fee for 15 years, and you say that after 10 years the vehicle will get scrapped. That means there is a loss to the owner of the vehicle for that remaining 5 years, which the government has not even framed a policy whether to refund those 5 years license fee which they have collected for the vehicle. This in fact against the motor vehicles rules and regulations, but still NGT thought that we have to implement this the law to looking into the pollution what has been created in the NCR. Now pollution might be not the percentage of pollution because of car vehicles, the private vehicles are very minute. It cannot be more than 1%. For the 1% of carbon emission, they are scrapping the vehicles for 53 lakh vehicles for nothing, and it is a wastage of the economy, the waste of money of the country, and everything. I think there is a hand in glove between the scrappers, the NCR, as well as the manufacturing of the car units. They also wanted this policy, this scrapping policies, because they will generate new cars and they can sell the new cars to the prospective buyers. This is also one of the reasons they brought this policy. They wanted new cars to be brought on the road and all the old cars to be demolished and put to the scrapper, and the car manufacturing companies make huge profit out of this scam.
Absolutely. Is there anything you would like to add, Mr. Ravikant? Of course, Mr. Mahale going on to say there's a nexus between the scrappers and the manufacturing units?
Absolutely, Ashna ji. I would like to thank Mirror Now, first of all, that you are actually doing it, and I think it is going to have a lot of impact because your campaign is going for quite some time. Also, it is very important because it is Delhi for now, but then I think their target may be the rest of the country. Imagine the crores of the vehicle which will have to be scrapped, and the vehicle owners will only get peanuts, and the scrapper will make billions of rupees and will share with maybe with various stakeholders. So I think it needs to be nipped in the bud, and so Mirror Now is doing that. Absolutely. I think it's very important campaign that you are running. I think it is possible. It is possible that the automobile companies are also encouraging it, but we don't have any direct kind of sign of that. But we are only talking about the kind of sufferings that people like me and other Delhi citizens who had to go through this. It's a clear-cut harassment, and it needs to be addressed. I think the next step that I'm going to take it, because I have gone to police, MCD, ministers, everywhere I have gone. The only avenue which is left for me now is that I have to go to court, and I'm going to request to the court that it is not only my case, but I think the court needs to also come out with some directive which is going to put these people in place, and which will empower citizens that they should have a choice to actually select a scrapper or to select an alternative option for their vehicle, maybe the renewal, the fitness, and all that. And I think they will get some tools. So I think we need to go to High Court. I will do that for sure.
Absolutely. Mr. Ravikant, Mr. Mahale, thanks very much for joining us here on Mirror Now and sharing your experiences.
Thank you, madam.